Bonjour, folks. My name is Sass. I'm a sound designer and digital creator based in Montreal, Canada. This is the first episode of my audio journal series. I was inspired to create this series after seeing an Instagram thread by a content creator named Ariel Simone. I believe her Instagram handle is L'Ariel Simone. Ariel was talking about how I think she uses her cell phone to basically record her thoughts and ideas and listen back to them, and how that's been such a beneficial process for her. And it resonated with me because back in January, I created a customized affirmation soundscape service. You could say affirmations. One of the prompts I had was you write a letter to your future self and you record it, and then I would sound design and mix it as a service. And so I liked the concept that Ariel came up with, audio journaling, because it's so much simpler than customized affirmation soundscape service, but also people resonate with the idea of journaling. Like, people know bullet journaling or just like regular written journaling. And so I really took that concept to heart and decided to run with it. So I give total credit to Ariel, shout out to her for the name. I wanted to think of a way to show up on social media in a way that's authentic to me. And so when I thought of the audio journaling, I was like, oh, this makes sense because audio is what I do, and this is a way for me to share myself and my skill. For me, I struggle as a content creator with being seen and showing up, I guess, on my social media and marketing myself, because I just don't like being in front of the camera. I don't mind creating content for people, but it's one thing to create it for myself. And so through my written journaling, I've been working through that, where that fear of being seen comes from. And I reached a point where I was just like, Sass, you just gotta do what you need to do. And for me, this audio journaling process is a way for me to show up authentically, because I'm doing what I naturally would do anyway, and I look forward to being able to create these journals and, more importantly, sound design them and edit them. So I was like, yeah, this is something I can do consistently, and it's something that I feel is authentic to me and my business and my brand and how I want to start showing up on social media. It's a way for me to share my story, share my process, share my experiences. I am a Black woman in audio, an immigrant to Canada. I'm a creative entrepreneur trying to get my business fully, I guess, self-sustaining. There's so many aspects of my story that I want to share. I'll be 37 in July. In a lot of ways, it feels like I'm going to be turning 7, because for me, my life didn't start until I turned 30, because that's when I got my permanent residency in Canada. And to give you a little backstory, I'm from Barbados originally, and since about the age of 6, I knew I wanted to do something with filmmaking. That's been a long-term goal of mine, to be able to work within the media and entertainment industry. It wasn't a realistic goal to have in Barbados, because at the time there was only one TV station. So basically from the age of 6 to the age of 30, I was on an immigration journey. So that's like 24 years, more than half my life at this point, where I was in transit to a destination. And for me, through that whole time, it was like I was preparing for life. So first you have school, where in high school you're preparing for college, and then in college you're preparing to get a good, quote unquote, good job. And so much of my life felt like I was preparing for life. As a result, I was accounted for, but I wasn't present, because I was so focused on arriving at the destination that I didn't savor the journey itself during my 20s. One of the regrets I have for my 20s is that I didn't document my 20s. When YouTube came about and I saw other people documenting their lives, I never felt like my life was worth documenting, because as far as I was concerned, life hadn't started yet. Between school and then the immigration process and trying to get settled, I was like, when I get permanent residency, then my life will begin. Then my life will be worth documenting, or just living in general. When I look at my first 30 years as a whole, I was so busy in survival mode. And like that first tier of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is like, for me, getting permanent residency, I needed to have that to complete the first tier. So in August 2017, that was 1 month after I turned 30, I did my landing at Toronto Pearson Airport. And I remember when I was in the cab on the way to my relative's place, thinking today's the first day of the rest of my life. And it has felt like that in a lot of ways, which is why I feel like I'm turning 7, because I now have to change the narrative, because for so long, immigration and that limbo of immigration was my narrative. And so now I'm at the point where I have the freedom to create a career, create a life, create friendships. There are so many things I am in the process of creating, and now that I'm already halfway through my 30s, I don't want to make the same mistake I made with my 20s in not documenting and not savoring the journey. I don't want to be rushing from one goal to the next, because there's no fun in that. Like, you have to savor the experience, you have to learn the lessons, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. Getting back to the audio journaling, that's what this is about for me. I do written journaling every morning. I've become consistent in that habit, but I think recording myself and being able to play it back will add a whole new level of documentation to it that I'm looking forward to, because I think that's one thing I admire about Gen Z, is that they document everything. Like, so many of them have been documenting since like their preteens. And while that's a good and bad thing, because you can over document to the point where you're so focused on capturing things on camera that you forget to be in the moment, I think I can afford to risk that, because I'm so camera averse that I regret not having more pictures or any video at all from my 20s. And so I'm going to make up for that by recording and documenting my life here in Canada, my entrepreneurship journey, my audio journey. There are so many aspects of my life experience here in Canada that I want to share, because I know it will help somebody else and it can resonate with somebody else. And I also just want to be able to, in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, however long down the road, I want to have it documented that I was here, and be able to relive the experiences and appreciate them in a whole new way, because I have something tangible from this time in my life, and just be grateful to myself that I took this time to pause and just appreciate this destination that it took me so long to reach, to document it, because it's worth documenting. It has been worth documenting this whole time, but now I'm putting the effort into doing so. That is basically the setup for these audio journals. I'm going to talk a little bit about my entrepreneurship experience, my creative experience, life in general, immigration, and just whatever is on my mind. I want to be able to make some weekly journal entries in this series and just keep myself updated and keep you all updated. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you for listening. I hope you get something out of this. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the social media things. I hope that you join me every week, and I thank you for being here.